Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dom, and today we are doing the best way to describe this is a top 10 video. These are the top 10 games that I've ever played. My personal favourite of every single game that I've played. I hope you enjoy it, and we're going to get straight in there with number 10. At number 10, we have Borderlands 2. Now, I've put this on the lower end of it because I find when I go into True Vault Hunt mode, I find it quite boring, I find it quite repetitive. When I first played it, it's fun. I enjoy the characters. There's the ones that I play, majority of is Zero and Gage, and I've also started a Krieg playthrough. So if you don't know what Borderlands 2 is, which I highly doubt, but I shall explain, it's a loot. I would call it a first-person looter shooter. It has a lot of multiplayer. Well, it's more fun with your friends. It's very referencey. It's very silly. It has its own humour, which I love. The guns are fun. The gameplay's fun. It's a great game, but it's on the lower end of this because there's a lot of games here that I enjoy a lot more. I don't have a lot of friends that play Borderlands 2, so I can't really have the multiplayer friend experience with this game, which is very highly unfortunate for me. So we're gonna have to stick Borderlands 2 at the lower end, being at number 10. At number 9, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 3. It's very, although that I must say that I play this game a lot more than I'd like to admit. It is again very low on this list. It's higher than Borderlands 2 because I don't need to have friends to play it, but it is one of the lower ones because the only thing I use Black Ops 3 for is the zombies. I've never been good at the multiplayer. I never will be good at the multiplayer. And I've come to accept that. I've come to terms with that. And the campaign is, I've seen better things coiled out my dog's bottom. But the zombies was always held a special place in my heart ever since Black Ops 2. Because that was the first time I ever played zombies, and it's always held a special place in my heart. So that's why Black Ops 3 will hold a special place in this list at number 9. At number 8, we have The Binding of Isaac, one of my favourite games. I'm not going to hide it. Both this and Gungeon is on this list, I'll get to that, are some of my favourite games, and I've put hours into this game. But Isaac is so low because of its sheer difficulty, and it is unforgiving. Now, Repentance hasn't come out for PS4 yet, but according to the videos I've watched on it, where I've watched people playing it, Repentance has upped the difficulty a lot more, made Isaac even more unforgiving than it is. Isaac is one of those games where you could be having the greatest run, but you grab a single item by mistake, or you get one wrong boss, or you just do one thing wrong, and it ends your entire game, which is insanely difficult. For example, there's one boss, there's one thing that you need to get by beating the Hush, which is a boss that is extremely difficult. It's the only boss in Binding of Isaac that has a damage cap, with Blue Baby being one of the hardest characters to play as, because it, like Azazel, has like shield health, whereas Azazel has black health and can get red health. He is stuck with soul hearts. I love Binding of Isaac, I really do, but unfortunately we're going to have to put it at number 8, because yes, I love it, but at the same time, god damn does it make my life hell. Moving swiftly on to number 7, we have Bioshock 1. I enjoyed Bioshock quite heavily. I also enjoyed Bioshock 2 and did not really enjoy Bioshock Infinite, so I'm kind of a weird person in that retrospect. I have spent a lot of time playing Bioshock, as many of my friends can tell you, as I have made it my life's goal in every single game to make my life as hard as I possibly can. And Bioshock, you know, both allows for this and doesn't allow for this, making every single playstyle completely viable. I went through the game on my second playthrough only ever using plasmids, and it was a very viable playthrough. The clips here you're seeing are from, like, I literally just called this 5 minutes ago, so yeah, it's a very viable play strategy, and I had fun. You know, you can challenge yourself and have fun at the same time, which I appreciate. There's a lot of games that's like, oh, you have a gun, you have to use it, but Bioshock isn't like that. Sure, it'd make your life a lot easier if you did use it, but you don't necessarily have to, which I like that. So I've put that at number 7. At number 6, we have Stardew Valley. I enjoy Stardew Valley quite a bit. I have a very good history with this game. I think it was 2, 3, maybe 4 years ago when Connor said to me, "You know what I do when I'm angry, Dom? I don't punch doors because I've got really weird hands. Instead, I play Stardew Valley. It calms me down." And I went, "You know what, Connor? I'll give it a go." And I did give it a go because it was on sale. And I tell you what, it's the best thing I ever did. I've enjoyed this game. You know, I thought I wouldn't like it because it's not actiony, but there is something really sweet, peaceful, and entertaining about being a farmer. Which goes on to why I also like Slime Rancher, but that's not on this list. It's a great game, and I even bought it on PC, and I'm having fun with mods and just playing around because it is genuinely fun. It's a good game, and I recommend you guys play it as well. And that is the first half of this list. So let's move swiftly on to number 5 of my top 5 of the top 10 games that I liked playing on PS4. At number 5, we have probably one of my favourite games to come out more recently, and that is Death Stranding. Death Stranding is a great game. It does suffer with what people say it suffers with it being a walking simulator, but I honestly feel like the story overcomes this. It's got a good story, good characters, and yes, even though you do have to walk literally across America in this game, it's still a very, very good game. I've enjoyed every single moment playing it. The only issues I've ever had playing this game is the fact that I found it boring and repetitive because I've been trying to get 5 stars with every single area, which is very annoying, especially when you get to the mountainous areas. I heavily enjoy playing this game, and I've recommended it to anyone that just enjoys games in general. Hideo Kojima did a very good job with Death Stranding, and it's a very good game. You know, I put it really high on my list. I remember the first time ever seeing Death Stranding. One of my friends was showing me it, and it was the final cutscene. And mind you, even though I'd never been introduced to any of these characters before, I found myself being moved and being upset when finding out about a loss of one of them, even though I had not experienced any of the game with any of these characters. And now experiencing the game from the start and learning about these characters and growing to bond with them more than I did with a couple of hours and putting days into this, it impacts you a lot more emotionally, and it's a very, very good game. It does storytelling increasingly well, which is why I am putting Death Stranding at number 5 on this list. At number 4, we have the Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is one of my favourite games that, not just that I've ever played, just ever. I've always wanted to play it, so I bought it at one point. Now, I platinum this game, and this is my second ever platinum, but it's different to when I platinum Fallout 4. Fallout 4, I was like 4 achievements away, so I thought might as well, because you get achievements while you play. This game, however, I played it and I knew instantly I'm going to play this game till completion. I played for a non-stop, day after day, grinding away at this game until I eventually did get that platinum. This game has always been beautiful to me. It's got beautiful music, beautiful atmosphere. It tells a story without really needing to have any characters other than you and Dormin and Aggro. It is a beautiful game that I would guarantee that I'm going to recommend to everyone. And for being a remaster of a PS2 game, I genuinely feel like this game's going to hold the test of time for quite a long time afterwards. But that's it for number 4. Let's move swiftly on to my top 3. Enter the Gungeon is one of my favourite games. One of my top 3. I mentioned it when I was talking about Binding of Isaac, but the thing what I like more about Gungeon is that yes, it is unforgiving because all bosses have a damage cap. That is one of the things. If you screw up in this game, you screwed up. It is unforgiving, much like Binding of Isaac, but unlike Binding of Isaac, it's not unforgiving with items. This is entirely skill based. If you have the skill, you will be good at Gungeon, because anything in this weapon can be a gun. You got literally a rock and a piece of string is a gun, a camera is a gun, and everything in this game is viable. Everything in this game is good. They are all good items, just some are better than others, but there is no bad items in this game. They're good or they're not so good. It all depends on your skill. And that's what I love so much about Gungeon. I sunk a lot more hours into this game than I did in Isaac, and I bought this game twice. And another thing to add on top of the fact that I did buy this game twice is I'm not going to do that for Binding of Isaac because that's just so hard. But the game unlocks for this feel natural. That it's hard enough that it's still a challenge, but it's easy enough that I don't want to pull out my teeth. So it lands a spot here at number 3.
We ain't no use to Jack in jail or at the end of a rope. I don't even know what to think no more.
At number 2 we have Red Dead Redemption 2. Wow, a number 2 at the number 2. All I need to do is shit myself while playing this game, and then we have a triple. Oh wait, that did happen. I was talking to Dylan about beans. So I love Red Dead Redemption 2. It is a great game. Well worth the wait. I loved playing it. And I can't even begin to just sing this game's praises. It occupied a lot of my free time, and made me a cheery, happy boy. So yeah, so Red Dead Redemption 2 is at the number 2 spot because I believe it is one of the best games that I have ever played. Real quick before we move on to the number 1 spot, I'm going to give honorable mentions to the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Hang on, my brain's just whirring. Final Fantasy VII Remake, GTA 5, 2017's Prey, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, and The Witcher 3. I couldn't really think of a reason to not put those games on number 1, because I enjoyed all of the games a great deal. I loved them. So I'm putting them in honorable mentions anyway. I'm not invalidating those games, I just had nothing negative to say about them whatsoever, which is very much the same for the final game on this, which you'll be seeing in just a mojo. And last but certainly, well no, last and it is least, my favourite game that I've ever played on PS4, well, it also is PS3 as well, is Prototype 2. One of the first games I ever played was Prototype 1, and I played Prototype 1 again and didn't really like it. Found out there was a sequel, thought I'd give it a go, and in my opinion it was marginally better in every single way. I never got bored playing this game, to the point where I've platinumed it on PS4 and I'm going back to platinum it on PS3, so I would have technically 2 platinums for one game. I've always had fun just playing and replaying, because Hella's voice lines never get old. He's a great character, he's a very funny character. It's like, they don't take the dialogue too seriously, but it still has serious moments. I find it to be one of my all-time favourite games. And I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, I want there to be a remaster for this game to update the graphics and that, because I love it. There are obviously negative points, as there are with any game. This one for me being that there isn't as many opportunities as there are in Prototype 1. Prototype 1 you had you know, the shields that you could ram people with, that's then developed into a whole suit of armor, whereas in Prototype 2 that shield is literally just a quick time event that is used every time someone shoots a rocket at you. They did get rid of some of the more useless powers like muscle mass, but and added really interesting ones like the tentacle. The tentacle's the only one they added. So, you know, I'd love to see a remaster where they expand upon the powers and maybe add some new ones in, but you know, a man can dream. But anyway, my name's been Dom. I hope you've enjoyed my top 10 games that I have played on PS4. If you have any opinions on any of these games, or think that another game, whether I've played it or not, should have taken the place of another game here, feel free to put it in the comments. I will be responding to them. As you know, I made a meme video and that has blown up my channel, so if you guys are here watching from that 15.ai meme video, I am going to be making more of those as soon as that site comes back up. Hello, hope you're enjoying the content. If you're not, and wait for more memes, you might be waiting for a while. Anyway, so I've been Dom. No one else is here because I'm recording this post after like recording all the footage, and I shall see you on another video when I can be asked. Goodbye.